There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no.
There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no.
There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want.
What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. We finally got a break from the crazy weather we've had in the last 2 weeks, and it's crazy to say that I chose the right weeks to clean the garage because the last 2 weeks we've been having some crazy weather with heavy rain, super heavy wind, and flash floods. It hasn't rained in a few days, although we do have some slight percentage of sprinkle, but for the most part super dry out with cloudy skies. I mean, if you guys notice, my my entire canopy tarp thing is completely gone. It's actually in that bag right there, but the winds were super heavy. It was blowing this thing entirely apart, and I decided to just tear it apart completely just so that it's not like flying all over the place and leaving strands all over the floor like it did here. So I tore it completely apart, threw it in a trash bag, getting it ready for trash day, and I will get a whole new tarp for this later. I really do miss wrenching, and I'm hoping to get back to regular scheduling here real soon. Today's video is going to be about the garage update. I kind of want to show you guys the progress we've been making. It's not completely done. There's still a lot of things I have to toss, still a lot of things I have to go through, still a lot of things I have to organize, but for the most part I'm content and pretty happy on how far it's turning out. There should have been a bunch of little clips at the beginning of this video to kind of show you guys the progress in between, but for the most part I will run you guys through everything that we've done so far. So we started on the left side of my garage. This is the main side of my garage where my toolbox is at, where I do all my welding and pretty much the pathway, the walkway that goes into the house. There was a giant shelf that was there that I took out and put into my storage unit, and I replaced it with this giant 6 by 6.5 by 2 feet in heavy duty rack. I found this on Facebook for 160 bucks. This is typically about $270 from Home Depot. You can get them at Walmart. I don't know where else you can get it from. I'm sure you can get it online through Amazon, so on and so forth. But I got this from Facebook, and the goal with this rack was to have storage on top, a workbench in the middle, and my toolbox underneath that. As you can see, we have a toolbox on the right side here. This is like a junk drawer slash a couple extra items that I'm not going to be needing here, but in case I need it, it's there. Then we got my main toolbox on this side. The stuff in front of my toolbox here, we got brand new max speeding rod coilovers for the new car, a bunch of empty containers. This is a napkin dispenser that I have to find a place to mount it to. Just a bunch of shop rags down here, empty bin down there. I must say though, I'm very stoked about this table because this is much bigger than my workspace I had before that used to be the top of my toolbox, which was actually this sheet of metal. This is 2.5 by 2 feet in, and that was the only workspace that I had, which was very compact and jam-packed when I was welding anything larger than this. So now we are double the size. Obviously you can see that a lot of this stuff still needs to find home locations. A bunch of these empty boxes I could technically toss, but it's nice to look at it and, you know, say that I bought these brand new. To you guys is probably still trash, but anyways, moving up here, storage for a lot of stuff that we're going to be using in the future, like all the piston rods, bearings, flex hone, everything's over there. AN lines, fittings and stuff is in that tote. Electricals in that tote. That box has a bunch of like brand new gloves, safety glasses, latex gloves, and like sleevings and stuff for your arms. All the stuff here is brand new, brand used. A bunch of injectors, a bunch of block stuff, you know, NRG quick releases, bearings, ball joints, all that good jazz. It's going to be used soon. That's why they're up there, just easily accessible. Get the light up here for you guys. Right here we have my MIG welding machine on a welding cart, so we can move it in and out, no problems. Got my argon tank right there in between. This shelf right here used to sit up on this wall this way, but what I did was I moved it over here and I had to shorten it. I shortened it to be able to fit my welding gas tank right there. And down low we have my air compressor, 150 psi, 1.8 horsepower, 25 gallon. I've had this for so long. This is what I use to paint all my cars. First shelf right here has a bunch of welding stuff, new old material for TIG welding, MIG welding. Second shelf we have all of my spray cans and extra bolts and stuff. Third shelf has all the fluids and liquids, acetone, diff fluid, hand cleaner, so on and so forth. We have box tools on this side like compression tester, snap ring pliers, leak down tester, riv nut tool. Up there, extra electrical cords and cables, extensions. That one is a bunch of broken Milwaukee and Makita tools, extra chargers that I don't need since I have two over there. We have a pin board on this side that used to sit on top of my toolbox, but it used to be super jam-packed with my workspace because it stuck out very far. So with that out of the way, we have all this extra space. Pin board has, like, you know, donut gaskets, worm clamps, masking tape, wastegate springs. There's a bunch of stuff that I feel like I'm gonna need soon, and they're just sitting there kind of out of the way of my workbench. That concludes this side over here. I mean, it looks a ton better than it did before, and I'm pretty stoked about it. All the stuff on the floor is going to be off the floor soon. I am going to retire this table because it is starting to break a little bit. These need to go to the storage. I got to go through them and organize what to keep, what to throw away. These right here are CRV trailing arms. Let me explain this real quick. The CRV trailing arm is a lot taller and a lot longer than your typical Honda and Acura chassis. So if you look, the camber arm location is much taller, and the trailing arm bushing and toe arm mounting points are a lot further. What I did here was I took my jig and I jigged up the CRV trailing arm, and then I modified it right here and the front half using a regular Civic Integra trailing arm front half to weld onto to make a 5-lug all-wheel drive trailing arm. So I got one done. I got to finish this one here so I can take both of these to the storage. Might even toss it on the project car that I'm picking up. Who knows? We'll see. But all of this stuff on the floor is going to be moved, as well as these stuff right here. We have a TV that used to sit up on the wall. That's not going to be on the wall anymore. So I got to figure out what to do with that. That's my original TV actually. But I got to find a place for the vacuum cleaner and those. I mean, we're not going to touch any of that. I'm really plowing through this really quickly because I want to utilize the daylight and I got some other things I want to do. So I'm really just trying to beat the sun going down. I mean, there ain't no damn sun anyways, but at least we can show you guys the garage without using all of my lights to show you all the progression. So the center of my garage here, the goal was to have a much wider walk space and just not have a bunch of stuff jam-packed in the walkway, and we achieved just that. Now mind you guys, this is wide enough to bring a car into the garage. This line right here just lets me know that a car can squeeze in as long as I can remove the trash can. That transmission is going to the storage. This engine, I can just squeeze in the corner over there or push it all the way back. But as long as I clear that line on the floor, I can put a car in here. This right here is my Type R engine that you guys probably seen in my junkyard score video. This one was a spun bearing engine. I rebuilt it and then I put it in that car. Then I drove it for 1,115 miles before I pulled it out for my built engine, which is sitting over there. And it's just been sitting on the rack. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Probably just gonna keep it as a backup motor or just an engine to display, but definitely do not have any plans of selling it. This bin right here is all of my power tools and stuff. I'm waiting for my buddy Kel to finish up the rack for all the grinders so I can find a place to mount the tools up on the wall somewhere. This is my replacement power cord for the one that used to sit over there. It was completely deteriorated, so I'm switching over to this one. This transmission again is going to the storage because this is the spare transmission from my wagon that I repaired. This is the all motor B series build that I'm going to be finishing up here real soon. I did just clean all of the parts last night to get it all nice and freshened up when I start putting this back together. This is the K20 head that goes with that K20 block. This is the B20 that I have to refresh here real soon. Coming over to this side, we have my press, and all of these years this press has always moved a lot, and I finally took all the bolts apart to level it out and secure it. Now it doesn't move anymore, so that's gonna sit right here, and if I need to work on that, the garage definitely has to be open. All my jack stands on the floor. Now over here I made an aisle all the way down about 3 feet wide, and it feels cool. It feels like, you know, I'm walking into a store, I mean, or a junkyard, whatever you want to call it. But I have this rack here that I told myself I didn't want in the garage anymore, and then I just thought it was very fitting to have it here. And this rack right here is kind of like my to-do stuff. To-do means the stuff on this rack is stuff that I'm gonna be working on soon. This is the K20 that I have to build. This is the dart and sleeve block I want to put piston rods back into. All the stuff here is for the B20 engine I have to rebuild. Transfer case is going with the tranny. All of these fluids I'm going to recycle soon once I take all of these to get recycled. All of my machinery is on top shelf because I didn't really accommodate a space for any of this stuff. So I figured if I need any of this stuff, I'll just pull it off the rack, go plug it up on the table and use them. And when they're done, right back on top of the shelf. This right here is my K20 A2 engine that came out of my wagon originally. This one has a broken ringland. I need to tear it apart to figure out what's wrong with it so I can order parts for it. All this stuff right here is for the next car. Little teaser for you guys. Coming back to this side, we have two more 6x6.5 2 feet in racks connected together. Now this side of the garage, the goal was to literally just have everything that was on the old rack on here, as well as everything that was jam-packed in the center of the garage on the rack as well too. So all of the engines that was sitting at the center of the garage is now under the rack. So right here we have the K24A2 TSX for the new car. This right here is a spare K20A2 Type S. This is the built LSV Tech from my all-wheel drive CRX. I need to tear this apart because the head is going to be going on to the all motor build. The block is going to be rebuilt, refreshed to be put away. Transmission is mine, is my personal tranny and factory LSD. That's just going to sit around. Second shelf here, we have all of my turbos. These are all good, perfectly working turbos. Precision 5858s, Garrett 60-1, Garrett GT3076, Garrett GT3082R, and a bunch of extra back housing. The center section here is all of my all-wheel drive stuff. We got diff 1, diff 2, Vistas coupler 1, Vistas coupler 2, a bunch of extra stuff with that. Damn, that was like almost one breath. Over here, we got transfer cases on transfer cases. That's a billet transfer case right there in the back. And then we have my 11-inch brake upgrade kit. All of this stuff right here is for the K20 rebuild, which is for that block down there. Ratchet straps and tie downs, a bunch of brand new stuff like shift knobs, and a bunch of miscellaneous stuff in here. This stuff still needs to get organized. There's literally nothing in the back over there. I just kind of shoved it out of the way just so I can make this damn video. Extra towels, extra Gojos, K-tune parts. I don't know what's back there, but up here we got to keep it nice and slim. So we got my headlights, radiator for the new car, valve cover gaskets, valve covers and stuff for the new car. And stepping over here, we have my wheels underneath the rack. Sorry, I'm giving you guys terrible angles here, but we got my slipstreams for the CRX. We got my spoons, my personal wheels for the wagon. All this stuff still needs to get organized as well too. What else? We got bins down here for stuff I'm using later. My paintball guns down low. Old tire I gotta throw away. Over here, just a bunch of stuff I've shoved in that I'm not doing anything with. I just gotta find locations or toss them. I mean, not really toss them, but just organize it a little bit more. All this stuff here needs to be organized. Moroso oil pan. We got Victorex manifold in the back. All of my exhaust products and stuff over here. KONIG wheels, extra bins, headlights, tail lights, and this back half of the garage. You know, let's talk about that real quick. That back half of the garage is really jam-packed, and there's still a lot of goodies there. I just don't know how I'm going to go about organizing it just yet. So I'm going to save that back half for a later date. Probably going to take a little break from garage cleaning until I can come up with a game plan of what I want to do in that corner as far as shelvings go, or cabinets, or I don't know. I have to figure something out with that back half. That's probably the only part that's jam-packed in the garage. I mean, don't get me wrong, but like unorganized is this section here. I gotta find a place for the mini bikes, the extra bikes that used to sit up on the wall. I did set up the lifting racks and stuff, the squat rack back up, because my uncle has been wanting to work out, but I've just been busy with the garage. But I set it up for him in case he comes over here, he can work out without a whole bunch of stuff, you know, piled up on there. When I did the live stream on YouTube, somebody was saying like, oh, I don't even use this rack. I used to be in shape. I used to be fitted. Well, not fitted. I used to be swole, and I did use this rack a lot when I was working out. I did have Gold's Gym membership, and after dislocating my shoulder, I stopped going, and then I canceled my membership, and then I worked out at home months later, and then the years after that, dislocated my shoulder again and just kind of lost motivation. I do need to get back into shape, and that's definitely one of my goals this year, is to finally get back into it. Your boy's health is not the greatest, and it's really up to me to make the change. So having this here in the garage hopefully will motivate me more, because all the spacing and everything, and you know, all of this stuff is what helped me get into shape before. I'll throw in a little picture. Again, guys, we're not done with the garage. Still a lot of things we got to go through. Still a lot of things we have to organize. Still a lot of things we have to toss, and definitely have to clean the front of the house here once we are all set and done. And then when we are finished with all of the organization here, we still have to go to the storage unit. Since I did get a bigger unit and I moved a lot of stuff here to there, I need to go over there and start organizing the needs versus the wants versus the keeps and the throwaways. So that way, when I'm done with all the throwaway stuff, I can go grab all of that to throw all the way together with all of this. When I do go to the storage and do all of that, that's when I'm gonna start posting up a lot of stuff for sale. And I'm probably gonna sell a lot of the stuff for very, very cheap, because I know a lot of you guys may need a lot of the things that I have that I plan to toss or do sell. So that's pretty much the gist, the update with the garage. I hope you guys are pretty stoked, because I most definitely am. And hopefully on days where I don't want to be outside, I can move the car inside so we can give you guys a little bit of garage work videos. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. I want to get going on some other things here. I hope you guys enjoyed the update. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for regular programming, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.